Welcome back. After making the first use of the for loop, and in the previous video we looked at a number of puzzles related to the for loop. In this video, let's look at a few exercises related to for loop. Let's start with the first exercise. Earlier, we printed all the odd numbers. We printed odd numbers from 1 to 9. Now, I want to print the even numbers up to 10. So I would want to print 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. I would want to use the for loop to do that. How do I do that? You can try and pause the video in here and see if you can work out the solution on your own. The solution is very simple, right? So instead of starting with 1, I would start with 2. So if you start with 2, the starting value will be 2. Each time it would be incremented by 2, and 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. That's what will be printed. So let's do that. Print I. And you'd see 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10 printed. That's easy, right? Now, I would want to print the numbers in reverse. So until now, we looked at how to print 1 to 10. So I in range 1 to 11, we would print from 1 to 10. However, I would want to print in the reverse, 10 to 1. Think about how you would do that using the range function. I'd go from 10, 9, 8, so on up to 1. How do I do that? It's using the range function, right? So the starting value we want to start with is 10. As we discussed earlier, the end value is exclusive. So if I want to print from 10 to 1, I would want to print one value after that. So I would need to give 0 in here. So I would want to print from 10 to 0. However, the most important thing is the step value, right? Usually the step value is positive, but what we want to do in here is after 10 we would want to go to 9. So I would give a step value of -1. And now I can say print I, enter, enter. And now we are printing from 10 to 1. Isn't this fun? I mean, I love the range function because it gives you so many possibilities of things that you can do. I would want to print the squares of the first 10 numbers. So I would want to print 1, 2 square 4, 3 square 9, 4 square 16 and so on and so forth. How do I do that? So we would start with the usual for loop for I in range 1 to 11. Over here, I would need to just say print. I would want to print the squares. So I'll say I star I. Isn't it easy? Now, let's print the squares in the reverse order. I would want to print from 100 to 1. How do I do that? Easy, right? So you need to start with 10. You would want to go up to 0 because 0 is exclusive. So we would want to go up to 1. So we put 0 in here and we would want to do a -1. And what do we want to do? We want to do a print I star I. What would happen? 100 to 1. So 10 square, 9 square, 8 square, 7 square and so on. The same thing, I would only want to print the squares of the even numbers. So I would want to only print the squares of even numbers 10, 8, 6, 4 and 2. How would I do that? Yep, you are right. So I would need to just, instead of -2, instead of -1, I would need to say -2, right? So, oops, a mistake. Let's print I star I. That's it. So it's printing squares of even numbers. So I'll leave it as an exercise for you to print squares of odd numbers. The last thing that we would want to look at in this specific video is printing other tables. This is the code that we used earlier to print the 5 table. The first thing that we would want to do is instead of the 5 table, I would want to print the 6 table and the 8 table. How do I do that? Pause the video in here and try it as an exercise. Yep, it's actually quite simple. So instead of 5, you would need to replace it with 6, right? That's it. It prints the 6 table. If I want to print the 8 table, it's again very simple. Instead of 6, I would replace it with 8. And that's it. We have the 8 table down here. In this video, we had a lot of fun with the for loop. I hope you had a good time learning about the for loop, and I'll see you in the next step. Until then, bye bye.